Welcome, everybody. Good evening and welcome. My name is Tom Denenberg, and it's my great honor and pleasure to be the director of Shelburne Museum. I am so tickled to welcome you all here tonight. This is really the inaugural moment for the Pizza Gallery Center for Art and Education at Shelburne Museum. We opened this building in August with a wonderful show called Pattern, Color, Whimsy, Scale, which laid out the vision of our founder. But our plan was always to do something extraordinary in the wintertime when everyone in Vermont gets cabin fever.
You were an easy audience.
And we knew that everyone would come out for this. I was told about 2 days ago that 400 members, and you're all members of the museum, RSVP'd for this opening. We think the previous record was for a Mary Cassatt opening a couple of years ago with about 300. So John is now outpulling Mary Cassatt.
Yeah, deal with it.
I want to thank each and every one of you who's come here tonight. The members of this museum, you've heard me say this before, are literally the backbone of this organization. We couldn't do what we were doing without you. I want to thank Bob and Liz Nanovic, who aren't here, who are sponsors of this project.
My sugar people.
And I want to thank the Barnstormers, in particular the Sheridans who are here, who really stepped up. We had a wonderful group, our young supporters of this museum, who got behind this exhibition and made it a reality. Most importantly, I want to thank one John Bisbee, here on my left.
If Tom Denenberg didn't have walking pneumonia,
You're not talking yet.
hadn't cracked
You're not
around,
talking yet.
I would tickle him.
About 8 years ago, I was asked to take a meeting with John, and those of you who've spent time with him or have just met him know that that's a little bit like taking a meeting with a thunderstorm or a car accident or something like that. The kind of force of nature in an enclosed room with John is really quite extraordinary. But what John just hinted at a moment ago is about 7 years ago we did a project called Bright Common Spite, which was a wonderful exhibition. But in hindsight, now that we've seen this show, New Blooms, I would say that earlier show was really John. It was John's adolescence.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I knew we were going to open this building in the wintertime. We're going to be here for the community year-round. We knew we were going to work with John. We brought John here last summer. We walked him around the gardens. And John got very excited about the topography and the gardens here at Shelburne Museum. This was a place he had come to time and time again as a child. His mother is here with us, and she told me this story about not being able to get him to leave Shelburne Museum when he was a boy. But John's day here at Shelburne, looking at the gardens, literally bore fruit in this exhibition, New Blooms, with this shift to a very naturalistic design, a very naturalistic statement in his work. And I couldn't be more pleased that in some little way we were able to help John sort of take it to the next step in this beautiful building. And for just a couple of minutes, John and I are going to talk a little bit about who he is and what he does. And then we would invite everyone back into the galleries to make sure they have seen each piece in the gallery from many different angles. I was in conversation a moment ago with a young woman who I think is maybe 6 or 7 years old. And
My target audience.
And she was saying to her mother that you have to look at them from different angles.
Axiomatic.
Axiomatic. And I want to point out that that is an example. That one incident, that one little moment is an example of everything we do at Shelburne Museum, where the youngest person in the room draws your attention to the most profound way of looking at the art. So, Brother John, tell us what you do.
Can I talk now?
You can talk now.
I am beyond honored to be amongst you and share my new babies with you. It's been a spectabulous 2 years forming and struggling and searching and letting these things tell me what they needed and what they wanted, and always was the Pizzagalli Center, that room. I've been thinking about that room for so long. And this show is small in scale but epic in scope for me. It feels it's clearly my best work, and I'm ashamed of my past.
You should be.
Always be peaking is a motto I live by. And Tom Denenberg coming out of the blue and literally turning this ancient and beautiful and important vessel on a totally different course is a really, it's a shockingly wonderful gift he's given. Tom Denenberg, real quick. Yeah. I'm a huge fan. I have done this work. Part of the reason this has been such an epic and fruitful year for me is for the first time in my creative life, I've had help. I have spent 27 years alone in a little cinder block box and doing everything. I thought it was deeply important that I do everything myself, from completion to conception to fabrication to installation to even shipping. And I was a dumbass. And so I have a team now of 6 handsome athletes who you'll meet as you roam around. You can spot them. And I want to give just a huge cheers right now to McKay and Tom and Sam and Dave and Josh. I'll start crying. I'm going to cry a couple times tonight, but it's been such a profound gift.
Call them up.
Where are the handsome athletes? Are they here?
Call them up.
Yeah, get up, get your asses up here. If you can hear me, I would like all the handsome athletes up here. Not just Tom, Sam, where are the others? Sam, Mark Wesley in the back there. What's up? Cassie Jones. Apparently it's just one. There's just one handsome athlete. This is McKay. And I'll stop talking in a second, but it's been such a gift not only to make more and better art, but to share my days and have this be a communal voyage. I can't believe how I used to live, and I'm truly blessed. You can get down now.
I want to get sort of one last word in here, which is some years back when John and I first started that first project, I remember thinking that John was really the fellow that taught me creativity is hard work. That you find some simple idea, you bend a nail, and then you bend 10,000 of them. And I'm very used to writing, I'm very used to revising, I'm very used to sort of polishing, but it wasn't until I witnessed John in his studio, at his forge, with this great big trip hammer, creating something so delicate out of something so quotidian or so common, that it really struck me that this is genius, and this is creativity, and this is why we are here at Shelburne Museum. And John said something a moment ago.
I want to tickle him so bad.
You can't tickle me. John said something a moment ago where he said he was ashamed of his earlier work. I love John's earlier work. I love everything we have here at Shelburne Museum. But I also love that someone's going to walk past one of those sculptures outside and said, yeah, they've got one of those too.
Yeah.
At Shelburne Museum. Because this is why we're here. We are here for people to come into the museum and see something that makes them look at their world just a little bit differently tomorrow than from where they did yesterday. And again, I want to thank everyone who supports the museum, who's here. I want you all to go have a wonderful time, and I want everyone to make sure they talk to John tonight, because you will be less of a person if you don't.
There's so little
again,
left at this point.
Thank you, everybody, very much.
Ta-ta.